Hello, intrepid viewers, my dearest possums. Dr. Lena coming to you from tomorrow. It's one of my special gifts. Do you like my Ukraine supporting earrings? They were a birthday present from a friend. Aren't they fabulous? Dear Ukraine. Now, it's hard to know where to start. So I've had a lot of questions from you guys. So I thought the best way is to have this as a quick and dirty, and I'll get through as many as I can, promise. So I can't move on without saying it's great news for Brittany Griner and her wife. So it's excellent. And hopefully it's very hard for families of those who are incarcerated in other countries. But you'd have to think the Biden government is doing as much as it can. I think in the current climate, it was quite a miracle that they pulled it off. Of course, they had to trade some ghastly person or even two people. But you've got to bring your people. You know how it is. Right. So that's some good news. Also, of course, Trump org convicted on all counts, even though it's 1.6 mil. But it's still a move in the right direction, is it not? And it also gives hope to other people who have court cases against the various Trumpettes, that you can get them in the end. So keep pushing. So there's all of that going on. Now, one of the questions was, there are two former DC National Guards officials, high-level officials, and they're not happy. And the reason they're not happy is that the Army has produced its report on Jan 6, saying, nothing to see here, and trying to deflect the fact they didn't act back onto the National Guardsmen themselves and so on. And these two have had the courage to speak up and say, calling BS on the report, because we all know, so surely they knew, about all the deleting of messages and texts and emails and, stuff. So a viewer wanted to know, is this going to go anywhere, or is the Army, and in fact, I suppose the Pentagon, going to bury it with this report? So let's have a look. The report on the National Guard not coming in to do their core function, which is protecting officials. Hello. Core business. So what will happen with this report? Will it be the end or not? The National Guard story. Let's have a look. Well, this would seem to me that maybe it's not the end. Okay, because look, this is still making plans, to my mind, and I'm proudly not fair and balanced, you all know that. But nonetheless, this is, as the main card, the signifier, saying there is still more planning to be done, more strategizing around this. This is my Best of America card, the star. So I'm thinking people, excuse me, are not going to actually believe this report. Further down the track, people celebrating, and galloping into the front of the frame is something judicial yet to come. So my feel on this is, no, they're going to be saddled. There's that old saying since Nixon, it's not the crime, it's the cover-up. this is one of those. I just heard the cover up. So I think they're going to actually box themselves, the powers that be, into a corner with this, because there'll be too much evidence, and probably already given behind closed doors to the Jan 6 committee about this. I think we'll hear more. That makes me happy. Okay, good. Now, of course, they've found more documents in the Yeti's possession. And so quite a few of you want to know, will there be more searches? Because I think this was quite close by excuse me, I've got the hiccups. Locked storage near Mar-a-Lago, but are they going to go further afield? Are they going to go to New York? Are they going to go to Bedminster? Now, a lot of you ask, and I'm sure you don't ask just me, what's in the casket with the mother of dragons ashes that mysteriously weighed hundreds of pounds? I don't think, this is just me talking, not the cards. I really don't think they're going to go there to exhuming a grave. I don't see that. But will they go further? That's our question. Will they go to New York, Bedminster, etc.? Will these searches expand? Will these searches expand? They're deciding. Ha, 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 ha. The karmic wheel. I'm thrilled. So, and I'm sure this isn't a revelation, but the DOJ are still evaluating so much. The FBI would still be wading waist deep in information tip-offs and so forth. So they're working out the next steps, right? So I think this is not an end game. There is more. The Queen of Pentacles here means they now have the tools. Very practical Queen. They now have tools they didn't have before, because the Yeti and what's left of his inner circle, they've exhausted all the legal avenues over and over and over again. They've run out of legal arguments to stop it. So in other words, if they decide they need to search somewhere, they will find it much easier than they did before. They've come to an agreement. I think this is the FBI and the DOJ. They have come to an agreement about this. They're still working on small print, but there is this agreement. Karma, fate, and destiny. Will they find more? You bet your bottom dollar they'll find more. Oh my God. Now, the Yeti, of course, doesn't even have Kane, yay, as a best friend anymore. Yay, so blew it. In every way. Not the anti-Semitism. No, 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 no. You know, that's typical and ongoing and disgusting. But asking the Yeti to be his running mate is the equivalent of drinking cyanide in the narcissist's world. And please understand that even though we're not seeing the Yeti in an orange jumpsuit, how ironic would that ever be if we ever get that image of the orange one in an orange jumpsuit? How bliss. But be that as it may, the worst thing for a narcissist is oblivion. And he's getting closer and closer to oblivion every day of the week. Okay, now, DeSantis. Oh, just when you think you can relax, you know, you've got these demonic people stepping forward. So, DeSantis. Okay, he announced this week for his inauguration, you can pay between $50,000 and $1 million to come to his inauguration. I wouldn't go to DeSatan's inauguration if you paid me $50,000 for a meal. I might think about it. Oh, so this is crony capitalism, right? This isn't democracy. This is crony capitalism. Pay me money and I'll listen to what you've got to say. Now this, please don't think I'm just pointing the finger at the USA here. No, this is a problem in Australia with the coal lobby. It's a problem in the UK. It's a problem everywhere. The word lobbyist used to mean influencer. Now it doesn't mean that. It means you actually buy the person, which takes us to cinema. I'll get to in a minute. Write it down, Lena, or you gabble on, digressing madly and forget. So, but this is where democracy has ended up, right? They've stopped pretending. Who can buy the ear of the person in power? Dreadful creature. So actually, let's just move on from DeSantis because we will be looking at him more. What is our question here? Sorry, the viewer's question was, is DeSantis intending to run? Let's have a look. Oops. And I'll try and keep my personal view out of it as much as humanly possible. So will DeSantis make a run in 2024? Let's have a look. DeSantis, 2024. DeSantis, 2024. Look, in the middle we have his wife and possibly his mother. The women in his life are the ones pushing this, right? So he is being pushed. And obviously the GOP can sense the blood in the water for the Yeti, and so they would like in an ideal world to seamlessly move to it. But there's going to be some surprise revelations about him that aren't going to be altogether flattering, but they're not fatal. They're not going to stop because we know it takes, well, there's nothing that the GOP would stop at. So it doesn't matter if it turns out he's got 16 illegitimate children and he has, you know, done whatever he's done. It wouldn't matter to any of them. But over his reading is the hangman, not yet. And I think that's two not yets. It's not yet meaning he could still announce in a year's time, or not yet meaning not 2024, but he's young enough to wait till the whole Yeti thing burns itself out and go on the other side. But there's definitely waiting. His people are, you know, thinking about it and so forth, but they need to come up with a new way of thinking to go through. I don't know that DeSantis actually has the cojones to withstand a Yeti barrage. You know, he's still potent enough to do damage to DeSantis. So I'm going to say not yet. We'll revisit this issue. He's got a pretty good chance of getting the nomination if he goes for it, if and when he goes for it. All right. Now, the truly duplicitous, awful Kyrsten Sinema has revealed she's not really a Democrat at all. Like, we could have told her that. Why is it even a news item? You know. So what's going to happen with Sinema now? She's technically an independent. For entertainment purposes only, we know she's been bought by big business. You know, any investigative journalist can tell you that. So what difference, if any, is it going to make? with cinemas. Revelation. Revelation. Look. No. What's happening with the cinema vote? Let's have a look. I'll do a 5-carder for her. Oh, God. Doesn't matter how much you shuffle, these cards love coming out. Oh, dear. You know, oh, truly, really. Oh, okay. People around her came up with this strategy. This is in the middle of other people doing things on her behalf. They've come up with this strategy. These are both cards of not acting. This is saying to me it'll make no difference whatsoever for the Dems because they didn't have her vote anyway. So thanks to Herschel Walker being such an inadequate candidate, they'll still be all right in the Senate. But lying down, hanging up, it's not going to make any difference. It's possible that she may even vote in some way occasionally for the Dems because this is, we always think of pentacles and money, but this is your values. She's trying to reinvent herself with this strategy. And so she's going to try and preserve what's left of her very grisly and greasy reputation by the odd vote in the right place. It might, now she's not tied to the Dems, she might actually do that once or twice. But as I said, caveat being, this is an entertainment channel. Group work, dark money, you know, that's her master. That is her master. So that's okay. That's not, I don't think she can be more damaging. So it's all right, but I don't think it's phasing the senior Dems. Now, now I'm not going to comment on in any length about Ted Cruz's daughter because she is only 14. But once again, the Dems showed the high ground of saying, you know, sending their sincere wishes to the family and so forth. We'll leave it there. I don't like doing children. Okay, now, what was our next thing? Florida State Rep Joe Harding. He's just been indicted for corrupt dealings with COVID payments, where he had 2 dormant companies and he resurrected them to receive $150,000 in payments to non-existent companies, basically. So a viewer wanted to know about Joe Harding. I'm going to spread it out. Will this lead to other big business types who stole your money and who vote against people getting tiny, weeny, life-saving subsidies, but they're happy to grab the big bucks when it floats past their world, you know? If only hypocrisy was a crime, these guys would be convicted. Okay, so Joe Harding, sorry, that wasn't a jumper, it was just sloppy. Joe Harding, but will other cases be brought against inappropriate COVID funds? Will there be others? Will there be others? That was a jumper. Queen of Cups. Okay, let me bring you down here. The Emperor, the Hermit, and the Strength card. I think there's more in the works already. This is the Queen of Cups with the lid on her cup, not revealing much. Over the Hermit, not revealing much, but illuminating the light in a limited way to see where they're going. I think this is a test case in many ways. how this case is prosecuted will allow them to go ahead. There's Emperor energy here. This is normally my Yeti card. They don't think anything can touch them. They live in this rarefied world with the other 1%. And I think they're going to be surprised. But if they keep producing these piddly fines and wrist slaps, it's not going to put them off in the future. However, there is a strength card, and I like that a lot. So I think they're already working on cases. They're working them up, and there will be more. There will be more. So, if I could wave my magic wand, they should have to repay the money and waiver any entitlement to government subsidies in any context forever, right? So if a kid breaks into a convenience store and takes the till, they go to jail. But you take millions and you're just a contender for the Businessman of the Year award. Like what? No, it's got to stop everywhere. I'm not just pointing the finger at the US here. Okay, now the big one, Moore versus Harper. I won't go into it all. I'm sure most of you are aware. If you're not, please read up on it. This is the most important case that SCOTUS is going to hear, I think, at this point on, because it's basically, if they give in on this case, SCOTUS that is, then it means state legislatures can throw out their constituents' vote and just put in their person. It's, again, another pillar of non-democracy. We point our fingers at Russia and China, but really, like, it's disgusting. So Moore versus Harper, I want to really have a good look at this one. Will SCOTUS wave through this threat to democracy, or will they hold the line? Will they hold the line? SCOTUS, will they hold the line? Will they defend America or not? SCOTUS, Moore versus Harper. All right, now here, let me think. What am I looking at here with these cards? Okay, in the middle, juggling and manipulation going on here. Not surprisingly, they're under pressure in a way to get this right, meaning defending America. But it's a shame, eternal shame upon their poxy hides that it should even have got this far. This shouldn't be a good. They're still evaluating and they're split. They're split. And as I understand it, it's Clarence Thomas and Alito and someone else who are going, yeah, let's do this. There's the 3 Liberal justices, including Ketanji Brown and others who are anti, and it's coming down to 3, which I think is Coney Barrett and Kavanaugh and someone else. I think Neil Gorsuch is in the bad boys camp. I was thinking so. So this is very interesting. How will these Trump appointees handle it? They're more vulnerable than the others, both Kavanaugh and Coney Barrett Brown or whatever her name is. And they know in their little legal hearts that they were given a prize they didn't deserve. They've got to actually step up to prove they're not actually lambs to the slaughter. So in a convoluted way, the magician, I think miraculously, it will be saved. America will be saved. I can't tell you how important this case is. So it's major, and I'm hoping this is the good magician, not the bad juju. Okay. But ironically here, I think it's because they're not seasoned SCOTUS. What's the plural of SCOTUS? Is it SCOTI or something? I don't know. They're actually doing a bit of soul searching. Okay, well, they better get it right. So, I want to say yet again, apologies for giving you the wrong time. The Saturday nights on Hogarth's channel with me and Lady G, they're 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So get over there but look ahead of time on Hogarth's channel if you want to put questions in, because he selects the questions before. So make sure you do that. Now, I want to share with you some of the suggestions that people had for presents that are very cheap and or free. So these are good ones. Yeah. Offer someone a bit of babysitting, some sort of child minding or dog walking. That's good. Washing someone's car. Really well. So one viewer said she took her teens to help cook and serve Christmas dinners for street people and the homeless. I remember doing that years ago with mine, and I think it's a really, really good idea. Another suggestion was, if you're arty, even if you're not, you can cut out an image, you know, with a box cutter and paint. So to get some garment from a charity shop and then paint something special on it, I thought that was awesome. And another viewer suggested, we're always too busy to actually catch up with some of our friends. So why not say to a friend, let's meet up for coffee because I haven't seen you for 6 months or a year and I'll buy your coffee. I think all of those are excellent ideas. So keep them coming in. I love hearing these. So massive love to you all as we move into the Yuletide season, because I think I'm not comfortable with the Christmas idea, as many of you already know. However, I think it does, because the Christians actually took the pagan winter solstice, as it is in the Northern Hemisphere, and dressed it up and plonked the nativity story on top of the winter solstice. So there's nothing wrong with any of us celebrating, of any denomination or non-denomination, the winter solstice. So guys, I'll see you tomorrow night on Hogarth's channel, and otherwise I'll see you in my next video, which will be 4 days from now. Big love. Ciao, ciao, ciao. Look after yourselves.